Aloha. Wonderful seeing you. I'm going to make this super quick because I don't want to waste your time here with a bunch of nonsense. What we did was vocal training to hear minor seconds and then form major thirds from that concept. When we're able to do that, we can see our major third looks a lot like our minor third, but they have 4 and 3. Therefore, a perfect fourth has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, thusly making 12 half steps, or 13, for the octave. What we see, triads can be major, minor, diminished, or augmented. But we could also have other notes that are half diminished. We could use half diminished in correlation with other notes to give major minors. We could also have root chords that are just inversions. So what we're doing is using our hands to see triads, and instead of moving our triads around, we're going to try and find inversions, so we're wasting less time moving and more time playing. One of the concepts that we had worked on was seeing that a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1 in the key of C is a major scale. It has a natural 3 to 4 and a natural 7 to 1. So in each key, up to G, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, and then G to D, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D, we notice that we add on the F sharp for the key of G major, and we add on the C sharp for the key of D major. One of the really cool things is seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. If we know that our natural 7 is a C sharp and our minor 7th is the diminished 7th as being just our dominant chord, it's very interesting to put this C all the way down here and use one finger to play your D7s. It's much easier, even though it seems a little deceptive, it's much easier than you would think. So what we like to do is use concepts like that while we're playing. So a C major, if I wanted to make a C6, I would add these notes. So when I move down to a B diminished or a G major, I'd have G, B, D. Rather than playing B and D, they're down here with the G, and then that 6. Well, this makes a G sus. And it might not feel that way, but it's a inversion. Put these two up top and we get, and that's a kind of a weird thing to play together all together. However, we do start seeing these as being more than just see how that note cluster there, that G sus with the B flat in the bass? Builds a little tension. What I want to do is give you the ability to say what that is and then chart it and script it and then come up with a melody line over the top of it that would fit. And if you find that in 6 months, a year from now, you don't like that melody or song, scrap it. But the period that you take to start writing a song, then another song, and another song in a key, and then another key, that is the fundamental difference between learning and practicing. Practicing, sure. You can learn what your scales are, what your intervals are, how to use different fingerings all around this piano. But until you put it in practical application of seeing and how these notes work, you can have all the chords that you naturally would know and want to play everywhere and work on them right here and then branch them out to include bass notes that weren't naturally there. So like a G major with a B flat sounds good. How about a G minor with an E flat? Oh, so nice. So what we want to do is be able to express these through music. One of the ways to get there we talked about today, and that's what I want to leave you on. It's called the major harmonic progression. When we have the major harmonic progression, we always want to get back to 1 through the eyes of C major. If we add a C major to an E minor to an F, it would feel good to go back to the 1 here. That's because the 5 brought us back to the 1 by causing the most tension. Notes and all the chords I used were part of the harmonic progression because the 1 wanted to go to the 4. The 4 had an option of being a 4 or a 2. I could have played. But what if I played the 4 in one hand and the 2 in the other? Oh, that sounds great. C major with an F major to a D minor, to a G major. You can even go back to the F, E minor, hold it out for a sus, that's a diminished. C major, E minor, F sharp major 7, sorry, minor 7, and then maybe a G sus. All those chords are part of C major, but our ear tends to want to hear this. It wants to hear the 3 going to either the 4 or the 2 because it's right next door. It wants to hear when we get to the 4 to completely go through to the 5 or utilize the 7. Just like the 5, it holds tension because when we play a 5 as a dominant, we get our diminished. By using this cadence, if you will, we will choose a key this week. Let's say just the key of D. D has 2 sharps, F sharp and C sharp. D major, E minor, F sharp minor, G major, A major, B minor, right? We're going to be playing our C sharp diminish and then to a D. And what I'd like you to do is try and do the same thing I did. D major, E minor, F sharp minor, G major. And then right about G major, throw inversions in there. Our G major went to an A major, so that would look like this rather than going up, would be going down. A major, our B minor, right? Here's our B minor, all the same notes we could put in there. We have our C sharp diminish, and then back to a D. What I'd like you to do is write a song or a 4 or 5 note moving melody progression. Don't worry about melody, just a progression. So if in the key of D we were like 1, 4, 3, is that right? Yeah, 3, and then 2. D major, G major, F sharp, E minor. Now notice the first time I defined my chords as being a D, G major, F sharp minor, E minor, and then this time I'm gonna move the chords so I don't have to move my fingering. I get lost. Even in writing here, I know that C sharp's inside the chord of D major. So we would quite literally say we did a 1, 4, 3, and then that last time, rather than doing a 2, a minor 2, we did a diminished 7, which used as a chord, but the C sharp made it definitely a diminished, and then it resolves upward into the D major. Absolutely fun and gorgeous. So you would be able to look at that chart and go, oh, that's exactly what's happening. That's the easiest way to write melodies and to do chord analyzation. That's what we're going to be going with for a little minute and start dissecting some songs and composing a little piece. So try and compose a little piece that's under a minute or so that has a couple key changes in the key of D, and we'll see you next week. Aloha!